So another story that we want to talk about, and it just makes you just not feel good about companies that generally we should feel good about. Because when I think about Uber and all the stuff that Uber does, and it's just a cool service. When you think about, I got this app on my phone, and I can get a ride relative. Well, people, I'm not going to say me and Terrance, but people can get rides, relatively easily, on this. That's kind of cool. But then you see how the company is doing stuff when they know they're doing it. So basically, here's the story. Uber is settling a lawsuit over late fees for disabled passengers. So I want to say back in 2016, Uber instituted a 2-minute, limit on the amount of time they would, you would not be charged while waiting for your Uber driver is waiting for you to actually get into the car. So the reason they did this is because the drivers were saying, hey, I'm sitting out here for 20 minutes and I'm not getting paid while I'm waiting on this person to come out. So good on Uber for actually, instituting this.
I mean, but cabs do that. The meter's running,
the
that whole
running.
thing.
So yeah,
but 2 minutes.
No problem with that. But they have disabled, customers who are using the service where just by the nature of their disability, it takes them longer than 2 minutes to get into the ride. They've got to potentially fold up a wheelchair. Potentially they're blind and they have to be guided to the car. There's all kind of things that come into why you would get past that 2 minutes. Uber knew that they were disabled, and these were the reasons why they were actually being longer than 2 minutes. Yet they still charged them the longer than 2 minute fee.
So let me make sure I understand. Well, let me make sure I understand. If I am an Uber driver and I pull up to your place and I let you know via the Uber app that I am outside.
Yeah.
Is Uber saying or were drivers waiting the 2 minutes, not seeing anybody come out the house and then flick a switch to charge this 2 minutes? Or did the driver see the person, recognize they were disabled, and from them recognizing they were disabled to them actually getting in the car and doing all the things that they have to do, like you said, Rob, fold up wheelchairs, or just slower than an able-bodied person, were they then tagging them with the 2 minute wait time? Because if I'm an Uber driver and I pull up and it's when I tell you I'm here, the meter's running, and then you come out the house as a regular person 2 minutes later, yeah. But if I'm an Uber driver and then the second I see that, okay, you're disabled, or I can tell that you are whatever the case may be,
right? Are
the drivers starting that? Or I guess where's in the process?
If I had to guess, I would say that it's probably Uber.
Don't guess. That's actually correct.
Yeah. When the driver pulls up, they have to enable something. You get that text message that says your driver's outside. That happens in the app. When they right before they pull away, they press something and drive. So I think that whatever that time is whatever that time is. And I don't think the drivers get to dictate what is happening during that 2 minutes to say, well, this was a person that was struggling to get to the car. Let me stop this process because they shouldn't be fined. I think once they pull up and you get that text that they're there,
the clock is running.
That clock starts right then. And if it's more than 2 minutes, once they press that little button to drive away, then you getting fined. And you do need to take into consideration the fact that not everybody is going to be able. And I'm like, shoot, the way y'all be parking and y'all don't park where y'all say y'all going to be, it might take me 2 minutes just to find the car. You know what I mean?
But
or
on
if I'm at the airport or anything like that, it might take me a couple extra minutes just to even find the car. So like, I think 2 minutes is just really an unreasonable number out.
It is.
And this story isn't even about the 2 minutes. It's just about the fact that Uber knew that it had disabled customers that were booking these rides, and that it would, by the nature of their so when you order an Uber and you need a chair lift, that's a special thing that you do. So they know that you need a chair lift. So it's kind of like, well, wait a minute. In order for me to get my chair into the car or to get strapped in, or into the vehicle to get it strapped in, all these kind of things, if that's like a 7-minute process, but you still charge me the extra 5 minutes because we didn't pull off in 2 minutes, that is like a special kind of horrible, because
Yeah.
Yes,
Uber
it is.
knew that
Yes.
they were doing this. That's one
Mhm.
of the reasons why they hit them with the penalty that they did. And they're actually going back and trying to make some of these people that were affected directly by this whole as well in this lawsuit. But they're getting hit with this big fine because you knew you were doing this and you still did it. Because why? Extra money.
Yeah,
And
two
that's
minutes in
what's
general. They'll say 2 minutes in general is a short amount of time. But, on the flip side, I get it. I can
You have to
imagine.
do something.
I can imagine an Uber driver. Well, I'm making money on the side, or this is my full time gig, or whatever the case may be. I can imagine Friday, Saturday night, pulling up to somebody's house, or pulling up to the bar or the restaurant or wherever the
Hmm.
person's come out of, and people being inconsiderate, people being privileged, and when
Oh,
the Uber pull
absolutely.
up and I'm ready,
And they're
I'm
not
waiting,
even
I'm
ready.
outside, and they're not, or they texting the Uber driver back. All right, it's gonna be 10 minutes. I'm waiting on my friend, or
Hmm.
you're in the club or the restaurant, and you get the
Well, because people
Uber,
call the car too
yeah.
early, wanting to make sure
and
they're there,
right,
but
and
you
I'm
ain't
sitting
ready to
out,
go yet.
and then if I'm the Uber driver, I'm sitting outside for 10 minutes while you close your tab out with the
Hmm.
restaurant before you come out. I
Time is
mean, it's
money.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Time is
right,
money.
I
but
have
two
no problem
minutes.
with that, because why wouldn't I get paid? I'm providing you a service. You're the one that's not ready. I'm ready. So yeah, I don't have a problem with the 2 minutes, even though that might be kind of quick. I don't have a problem with the
I
two
think it
minutes.
could be
I,
5. It's
yeah.
5 for Uber Black and Uber SUV. So I think it could
Mhm.
be a standard 5. I think
Right.
that's not unreasonable to just say give them 5 minutes
Mhm.
to come out here. I just think 2 is
Yeah.
just
That's just
it's
quick.
crazy.
Two
Yeah.
And
But
and
minutes.
especially if, because I've called Ubers um when I'm ready to go, especially like to the
Hmm.
airport or whatever, and
Hmm.
just based and if there happens to be somebody right here in my area, they may get to me in 30 seconds because they might be on the next block or up the street or
Hmm.
whatever. So they may get to me in 30 seconds. However, for me to turn the lights off in my house, pick up my bag, walk down 2 flights of stairs, unlock my front door, lock the front door on the other side. The way my house is situated, I'm walking at least 50 yards in either direction to either get to the
Hmm.
street or get to my driveway. The way my house is,
Right.
that could
Could
be
be 2 minutes.
two and a
Mhm.
half minutes
Yeah,
to,
could be.
just
Hmm.
to get out, just
I get it.
just the walking part of it could be 2.5 minutes. And
Right.
then sometimes with the way, like I said, my house is situated to where it's not super easy to find, so they typically will go to the closest major intersection, which is now across the street from my house. So now
Hmm.
I'm doing the 50 yards out of my little complex, plus I got to get across the street and find this person and verify the license
Who
plate,
they
because I'm
are.
not getting in the Uber until I verify the license plate. And then maybe I got a bag that got to go in. So it's just like, that's, give me 5 minutes, bro. Dad, you
Yeah.
know what I'm
And
So
then
like I
saying?
said,
conversely,
and
and then
I get all
conversely
that.
on the
I just
flip
want to
side.
make sure that I put it out there that this story is not about the 2 minutes. It's
Yeah,
about them charging disabled passengers
right.
beyond the 2 minutes when they know good and well it's going to take them longer than 2 minutes to load up a wheelchair, or have, like I said, like so the examples they gave was loading a wheelchair up, or a blind passenger needing to be guided to the actual car.
Yeah, Uber
So
needs to stop
so like I said,
tripping.
that's different. That has nothing to do with whether it's 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It's you are charging people for something, for an accommodation that what is the law, the American with Disabilities Act, I believe that
Hmm.
is,
ADA.
yeah, that's just a no. And it's just like, you knew you were doing this. That's the thing. It wasn't like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
just
my
dead
bad, this
wrong.
is an accident. It's like,
No, it's just
no,
dead
you knew
wrong.
that this was happening and you still decided to do it.
And
So I
all
just
this
thought,
stuff, and all this stuff, Uber is just now still trying to dig out from that previous CEO, Travis
Yeah. Travis
Kalanick.
Kalanick,
yeah,
Kalanick. I think this was one of those things on his way
probably
out.
a
So
leftover from
yeah.
him.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, because
exactly.
this lawsuit started. He was still there when it
In
started. So
2016, right?
yeah,
So Uber right now may be a better service, a better place to work, but they still, this news is still news. So
still
a
Right.
lot of people will probably read this today and be like, "Oh, I ain't using Uber." When actuality, they may be turning a corner, but all this stuff they still got to dig out of.
Let's hope so, right? Let's hope so. Uber, give us 5 minutes. That's all I'm saying. Give your girl 5 minutes to get down the steps. My goodness.